All right, fun and joke aside, I'm going to ease into this conversation. Now, in the initial stages, when I heard that we were going to experience a hurricane in Jamaica, I was excited because I'm thinking content, and I'm embarrassed about it. Scratch that. All right, so I'm going to ease into this conversation because a lot of people have been asking me, if I'm okay, and I just want to send a big message saying thank you, and I appreciate the thoughts, the calls, the texts, and I want to tell you I'm okay. I'm thankful. I want to say, God has been good, but then again, others were not so fortunate. There has been loss of life, loss of property, loss of homes, a lot of losses, a lot of loss, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be breathing, to be on top of land, dry, comfortable, and just wishing others, sending them strength, and hoping that they can recover. A lot of things now have been placed on hold because of Melissa. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica Tuesday. Before it came, there was a lot of tension in the air. When somebody die in a community and the place just quiet, and it's night, like after 9-8 thereabout. Well, in this instance, it was like sometime after maybe 4-6-7 p.m. thereabout, and the place was just really quiet. The air was so tense and so quiet that you could cut it with a knife if it was thick enough to cut. That was how, and it was so uncomfortable. I remember sitting in my room and I was like, what is happening? And yes, people were in their homes probably getting ready or maybe move out and gone to higher ground, or but the place was really quiet and tense, and I remember that in particular. I also remember going to work, and because the place is so big, I had to be inside and doing one thing or another, being occupied. I don't get the chance to sit and think about what is happening outside. But then when the content starts to come in and I'm seeing the devastation, I'm saying, okay, wow. After the hurricane, when the hurricane passed, and we're seeing what has happened, what people have gone through, I've heard the experiences, I'm like, okay, God, look, what is happening? Why them? And I'm saying at the same time, thank God. But then I don't want to say, because usually Christians always go to the old saying, God know best, or God not give more than we can bear. It forces a lot of questions, and I'm trying to be very diplomatic about what I'm saying, because I know I have a wide range of people watching. I don't just have Christians. I have Adventists, I have Pentecostals, I have people who are non-Christians, and I'm trying my very best not to lead anybody astray or allow them to feel as if I am, yes, I'm trying to stay on a straight and narrow in this instance. But again, yes, I have to say it. Everything sometimes happens for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. God knows more than I do, obviously. But the devastation, though, it really was giving Haiti. When Haiti had earthquakes and so on, we see devastation, like somebody just shake up a matches box and just throw the matches. That's the vibe I'm seeing or getting from the West. St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, St. Thomas, North. People in the North have felt the effects of Melissa. Trees have been uprooted, electricity gone. Some people don't have any water, and so it is just a time for people to just sit down and reflect about, you know, what has happened and what they have experienced or what they have learned from, you know, this experience. I was watching All Angles on TVJ, and I saw a Rastaman recounting his experience, and he started to cry. He's saying at the same time he's thankful that he's living out of his bag, but at the end of the day, his others' situation is worse than his, and it also pushes me to also appreciate, you know, what is happening here in this part of the world. You know, Kingston just got rain and breeze. I mean, there's just few structures that were destroyed, but it's not as massive or obvious or out in the open as you'd see in St. Elizabeth or St. Thomas or Trelawney or the other countries in the west, other parishes in the west. But again, we have to give God thanks for, again, for those who are concerned. I am okay. I am just thankful. What I want to know, or what my wish is to just give back, because, you know, people out there really don't have anything. They don't even know what the water they don't even have water, people, to bathe with. They don't have water to drink. They don't have food to eat. Some don't know where they're going to sleep. And I'm saying, you know, it's just time for us to just see what we can do and give back using the government's method of getting help for our fellow Jamaicans. Again, in the same breath, I'm going to say we need to be careful what or where we're going to be putting our monies, because people are out there trying to scam people. The government put out the other evening or last evening that people are using different sites that looks similar to the government's name in order to get money from people for their own gains. And when it comes on to that, I want people to remember that they need to be careful, because at the end of the day, they won't have anybody to blame if they're not careful. And so I want to also say that when you're using these online means or platforms in order to help people, ensuring that you're protecting yourself, ensure that the site or the platform that you're using is straight. Yeah, and also remember not to click on any links that is sent to you asking you to verify anything that has nothing to do with, you know, banks or maybe credit union, whatever it is that has anything to do with money, and it's a link. Ignore it. To somebody's literally trying to get into your phone or account just to try to get your information. So the minute you click on that link, it's you opening a can of worms to people who are trying to get access to you. So be mindful. Yes, help, call. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're not sure, ask somebody who is beside you next door or in your own circle, you know, what they think about the link. But then, any link at all, don't click any link. Ask questions. Yeah, and double check information that is shared or sent to you. Don't just run with it. AI is real, guys. That's artificial intelligence. Double check this. We're living in a serious time, especially now where people are trying to help, but as well people are trying to get one up, get a win, or to step on somebody in order to reach further than the last. So because we're living in a time like this, people are looting. You just have to look out for yourself. Yes, look out for others, but you still have to look out for yourself, because at the end of the day, you won't have anybody to blame if you fall victim to any one of these scams. Yeah. But I started this video just to encourage, you know, people, and just to say, yeah, sections of Jamaica damaged, but you know, from what I've seen, the reports that I've heard, I can confidently say that Kingston has not been impacted as much as the other parishes. People in Portland are facing some issues. Some in Portland are facing issues due to landslides and so on. But we remain thankful. The most important thing is that we have life, and I feel like we shouldn't be surprised if the bodies that are found, that they're finding, keeps growing, because remember, it's a lot of debris all around, a lot of zinc, a lot of borates. So the more they clean, they may just find more people, more bodies. Let us also, send condolences to the family of the victims, and just pray in our hearts that we think about others, the feelings of others, because mental health is real. Not everybody can deal with stress. We just have to be mindful of what we say and how we approach things. And for journalists who are going into the field to ask questions, be mindful of people's emotion, be mindful of what you ask, be mindful of what you record. Ask, and everybody's supposed to know this, ask for permission before you start recording. These people don't, some of them have the clothes on them backs, they don't have no more clothes. I'm saying, be compassionate. Yes, we want the content. Yes, we love the excitement. Yes, we want to share what is happening to our fellow Jamaicans. But at the end of the day, put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself if you'd want to be asked a certain question or shot a certain way. And sometimes we can suggest a way that we can interview them without actually facing the camera. You have different styles of recording or interviewing to facilitate their comfort. I think I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to stop this video. And stay safe, everybody. Life is short. We're not here just for ourselves, we're here for each other. So do what you can to make life easier, not only for yourselves but for others. Oh, and before I go, I hope I was able to connect with you, with anybody who is watching this video. And if you think you can relate to what I said, let me know in the comment what you think. If you agree with me, sure, let me know if you agree with me. If not, tell me you don't agree with me. May I talk rubbish? Let me know. We can talk about it in the comments, or I can make another video and comment on it. But let me know what you think. I don't want to continue talking because I don't want to start crying because of what I've seen so far. Working in media again exposes you to all of these, death and ghosts and news and all. And maybe over a period of time I can show you. Maybe in this video, I can show you some of what I've seen or heard. Maybe not. But yeah, stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. Yeah.